I lived in this building for 8 years, and I never once paid attention to mailbox number 17. It hung in the far corner of the entrance hall. Rusty. No name on it. No lock. I figured it was nobody's. Until one morning I noticed the corner of an envelope sticking out. White, fresh, no stamp. I pulled it out. Inside was a photograph. A woman in her 40s, short hair, tired eyes, and a single date, March 14th. I turned it over in my hands. The woman looked familiar. Then it hit me. She lived in our building, and she vanished without a trace a month ago. Now I was holding an envelope someone left after her disappearance, with a date that, as I would later understand, was not the day she died. It was the day she was selected as the next one. I always thought a mailbox was one of those things that could never be scary. It just exists. A metal box in the entrance hall where junk mail sometimes lands. But when you start noticing patterns, even a mailbox turns into a clockwork mechanism counting down someone's life. If you enjoy stories where ordinary things turn out to be part of a system, subscribe to the channel, because it only gets stranger from here. I found the first envelope on a Tuesday. I pulled it out, glanced at the photo, and set it aside. I figured it was someone's forgotten family snapshot. I couldn't bring myself to throw it away. But the next morning I saw the news. A missing persons report. Natalia Horova, 42, resident of the Podol district. The photo in the news was the same one from the envelope. I pulled the envelope out of the pocket where I had shoved it the day before. The date. I checked the calendar. March 14th was a Wednesday, and Tuesday, the day I found the envelope, was the 13th. The photo showed up a day before she disappeared. I went to the concierge. His name is Petro. He's been sitting in that glass booth on the first floor for about 10 years. He knows every resident by name. I asked him about mailbox number 17. He said he didn't know. Said it had always been there even before him. Nobody uses it. I asked if he had seen anyone near the mailbox the day before. He shook his head. Said he didn't remember. A lot of people come and go. But it seemed to me he answered a little too fast. I decided to check for myself. I took a week off work, and I started watching the mailbox on my own. For a month nothing happened. The mailbox sat empty. I started thinking it was just a coincidence. But the next envelope showed up exactly 4 weeks later. On a Tuesday, I came down to the entrance hall at 7 in the morning. No envelope. At 7:30 it was already sticking out. Pulled it. Inside was a photo of a man. And a date. April 11th. I checked the calendar. April 11th was tomorrow. Wednesday. I didn't wait around. I went to the man's apartment. A neighbor opened the door. He hasn't been home since morning. Maybe he went to work. The next day the man didn't come back. A week later he was reported missing. I had no doubts left. Someone was dropping envelopes a day before each abduction. And mailbox number 17 was the timer. I started digging deeper. I pulled the archives of disappearances in our district for the last 3 years. 14 people. All vanished on a Wednesday. All lived within a 1-kilometer radius. All were single or had minimal social connections. I took the list of names and went to Petro. I told him straight. I know about the mailbox. I know about the envelopes. And I know that you're the only person here who can see everyone coming in and out. Petro was silent for a long time. Then he said, "You don't understand. I'm not the kidnapper. I'm just an observer. They pay me to report which residents live alone, which ones have no family, which ones won't trigger a police call the next day. I don't know who they are, but they know everything about me. And now about you too." I asked him why the envelopes always showed up on a Tuesday. Petro shrugged. It's their schedule. Tuesday is reporting day. I leave the information in mailbox number 17 at night. They pick it up before morning. Then they leave the confirmation envelope. The photo of the victim and the date. It's a receipt. A sign that the order has been accepted. I stared at him. A receipt? So someone is ordering people like goods? Petro looked away. I never asked. I just did my job. I understood I had to move fast. The next envelope was due in 3 days. I went to the police. They listened, pulled the missing person's files, but said they couldn't do anything without direct evidence. So I decided to do something they didn't expect. I wrote a statement saying I was single, that I had no family in the city, that I was the perfect victim. And I left it in mailbox number 17. On Tuesday night, along with a hidden camera I mounted under the ceiling of the entrance hall. The next morning I checked the recording. At 2 a.m. Petro approached the mailbox. He pulled out my statement, read it, put it back. Then another man approached the mailbox. I didn't recognize him. He was wearing a courier uniform. He took the statement, left an envelope. I opened the mailbox. Inside the envelope was my photo. And a date. Tomorrow. I didn't wait for the kidnappers. I took the recording to the police. This time they reacted. They arrested the courier that same evening. He turned out to be the driver of a van. Inside the van, they found the belongings of 3 missing people. Within 2 weeks, they took down the entire network. 5 people who were selling single individuals into labor slavery abroad. Petro got a suspended sentence for cooperating with the investigation. They recruited him 3 years ago when he racked up a large debt. They told him, "You just watch. You don't do anything. You just watch and take notes." They removed mailbox number 17. But I still dream about that envelope with my photo, because I know the system didn't vanish. It just moved to another building. And in some entrance hall right now, someone is pulling a stranger's photo out of a mailbox and thinking it's just a photo, like I once did, like you would have. And if this story made you look at your own mailbox differently, hit like, subscribe, because there are more stories coming about systems hiding in the most ordinary things. And maybe next time I'll tell you what I found in mailbox number 18.